Hey Technostuds! From a cybersecurity standpoint, integrity means that the data that you're receiving is complete, trustworthy, and hasn't been altered. And obviously that's really important when you're getting data or when you're getting a document or when you're receiving information. You want to make sure it's accurate. So in this video, let's talk about what integrity is and some ways that we enforce integrity. In this video, we'll start out by talking about the CIA Triad and the pillars of cybersecurity. Then we're going to get into integrity, authenticity, and non-repudiation. We'll talk about some concerns with integrity, what we're concerned about, and then some solutions that we can implement to enforce integrity. The CIA Triad says we should be concerned about confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Some would say that that's not enough, and the pillars of cybersecurity should include authenticity and non-repudiation. Where others may say, well, these are really closely related to integrity and lump that into integrity. We're going to talk about what the difference is between those three, but really that's what this module is all about and this video is all about. We're going to be talking about integrity, authenticity, and non-repudiation. Let's use an example of an email that's being sent from Susan to David. Integrity says that that email has not changed along the way. So nothing has happened to this message when David receives it. It's the original message that Susan sent. Authenticity is that this is from Susan. So when David receives this, he says, though this says that it's from Susan, and authenticity is in fact that it is from Susan. And then non-repudiation is the fact that Susan can't deny sending it, and David can't deny receiving it. And there are concerns over the integrity of messages when they're being sent. Traditionally, email has not been an form of encrypted communication, which means anybody can take a look at that message or even alter that message between the sender, in this case Susan, and David. And so you should, at least traditional email, standard email, you should not consider as being a secure form of sending messages. It's susceptible to things like on-path attacks. On-path attack would be when somebody's sitting in between and can intercept that message and for their own purpose, whether they're not sending it the other way, or maybe they're delaying the message from being sent, or perhaps they're altering the message as it comes in. It makes these messages susceptible to things like replay attacks or just any kind of unauthorized information alteration. So the alteration of the data, and then David gets a message that Susan didn't actually send. It could come from outside the system too. And so it's not just on-path attacks. Let's say somebody is impersonating, so they're outside the system and they send a message to David pretending to be Susan, impersonating Susan. And so we need some sort of integrity check or authenticity check to make sure that this mail is from who it says it's from, in this case Susan right here, and that it's not been altered. There are some solutions, like it's pretty hard to fake video, although it's been getting easier to fake that. There are things that like biometrics that could confirm somebody and who they are, or a signature. We would print things off, sign them, and then scan that and send that to a person in a PDF form, or some sort of read receipt is available with some of these technologies, or makes somebody authenticate to see the message, and then we know that they received this. All of these are kind of tricky solutions because who wants to create a video, or how do you implement biometrics, or do you want to print something out to scan it, or the read receipts are kind of a problem. And so we need better mechanisms to a digital way to be able to confirm these messages and the integrity of those messages. And so technology solutions to handle this one is hashing, being able to use that fingerprint to confirm that nothing has been changed on this message, or public key infrastructure. So it uses public key cryptography to actually implement public key infrastructure. And we'll talk a little more about that in a future video. And then things like certificates, being able to use certificates to confirm somebody's identity or digital signatures. And these are all solutions that we'll be covering more in future videos. In this video, we started by talking about the pillars of cybersecurity: confidentiality, integrity, availability, authenticity, and non-repudiation. We talked about what the differences are between integrity, authenticity, and non-repudiation. We talked about some concerns that you would have in sending messages to make sure that they're not altered along the way, and then solutions for those messages. And in future videos, we're going to get more in depth into those solutions.